back to another midday mobility and breathwork session. So we're going to get right into it. Once again, the goal of this, as we just start getting into this series, is going to be giving you more of a basic awareness around your body, developing a little bit more control, and starting to understand where your sticky points are going to be, to add some movements into your inventory so that you can draw upon them based on how you're feeling from one day to the next, okay? So we're going to go head to toe, as always so far, and then you can take bits and pieces. So I would suggest that you come along with me for the whole ride, and then just take note of which ones feel like they feel really good, or which ones feel challenging, and they might be something to continue to work on. So we're going to be starting in a standing position. You're not going to need too much space. I'm going to have you set your shoulders back and down. Hands are going to make light fists. And we're going to be starting at the crown of the head. We're going to bring chin into the chest and find a stretch on the back side of the neck. From here, start to scrape your chin along the collarbone, looking over the right shoulder. I want you to look as far as you can with your eyes. When you hit that roadblock, look and try to go a little farther before you let that ear drop. Chin to the sky, and make your way over to the other side. Left ear drops to left shoulder. Both shoulders stay packed down. We rotate chin to shoulder. Same thing, looking over. Eyes lead you a little bit farther. Then we scrape the chin along the collarbone. Back to the midpoint, and one more in this direction. Looking over the shoulder, shoulders stay packed down. We drop the ear. Find a stretch on this side of the neck. Lift the chin to the ceiling. Left ear drops to left shoulder. Pause and rinse rotation. And scrape it along the collarbone back to the midline. We're going to reverse here. Scraping over to the left. Leading with the eyes and leaning a little bit farther before we tip. Spilling water out of our ear, we bring the chin up to the ceiling. Right ear dips down. Rinsing rotation. We're wringing out the neck like a dish rag. You'll hear this cue a lot. Scraping along the collarbone. One more in this direction. You'll start to notice the pattern through what we do today. Each joint is moving in a circular motion. So when you get confused, if you ever get lost, just always think big, clean circle. Back to the center, and go ahead and roll back up. Stay exactly where you are. We're just going to give ourselves a light hug. Squeeze the glutes. So you watch me from the side. I get a little bit of that tuck underneath here. I want to think like I'm zipping my sternum to my pelvis, and I want to keep that shape. Okay, so this is hip flexion, which we've got a lot of. This is upper spine flexion, which we don't have very much of, but we're going to work right now. So I'm in a neutral stance, giving myself a light hug. I bring the chin back into the chest, round the upper spine, and start to rotate to the right. Wringing like a dish rag once again. The shoulders stay away from the ears. Try to push a little farther, and then we drop that shoulder. So we find a nice spinal twist and then bend. Now we think lifting the breastbone toward the ceiling, making our way over to the other side. Dip the shoulder. Opposite hip stays heavy. Pause and rinse rotation. Look with the head. Wring out the spine. Keep those shoulders down. Now we roll through and reverse. Same thing here. So we're trying to isolate this motion to the upper spine only, which is pretty new and pretty limited for most of us. So we're seeking out the nuance, we're seeking out the subtle sensations here. Like we said at the beginning, body awareness. Roll yourself slowly up to stand. Hands are going to come down by your sides. So we're going to go ahead and bring the left arm up overhead, shoulder flexion. Now from here, I want you to take your right hand, grab onto the right upper arm, and pull it in. We're going to internally rotate the shoulder. So watch what happens. I pull it in, which twists my palm out. And now I'm going to continue going, going, going. Look, I end with my palm facing out at my hip. Now I reverse, and I'm going to take that arm, open it back up. I externally rotated it, and I pull back back to where I started. So we see that again, I go up overhead, reach across, rotate, continue that motion. And then as I reverse, coming out the way I came in, I'm going to pull that arm back, unwind it, and bring it back out the way we came in. So we'll go one just like that. I go up overhead. Now I can rotate without the manual support of the other hand. I fly it back. Palm is going to end facing out at my hip. Reverse, unwind. Coming out the way we came in. Same thing on the other side. We pull up overhead, rotate, fly back, palm by the hip, reverse, unwind, fly back to home base, and one more on the side for good measure. We go up, rotate, fly back, rewind, and back. We're going to now work on the shoulder blade. So we just did the shoulder socket. Now we want the shoulder blade, this wing on the back, right? So I want hands out in front. Hands are in fists, parallel to the floor. We're going to punch them away from ourselves and then pull back. Notice my hands stay on the same plane. I'm isolating this movement to the shoulder blade. A very new sensation for a lot of us. Spreading them apart on the back and then pulling them together like a string is drawing you back. We punch and we pull. If you've ever done a cable row, the back is just like that, scapular retraction. Now come back to neutral and we elevate and depress. Notice this is going to be pretty easy. Most of us live up here when we store tension in our shoulders. This is going to be a bit more challenging, so spend some extra time there. Up and down. We're going to put it all together, so we go up, punch forward, push down, and pull back. You'll notice, like we discussed earlier, this is starting to go into a circular motion. When you get the hang of it, really focus on that being a circle. Reverse wherever you are, same thing, just backwards now. Biggest, cleanest circle we can draw with those shoulder blades. One more. And shake it out. Should be tough. This is different than what we do most of the time, especially if you're really focused on it, okay? So we're going to come down to the floor. So if you want some softer floor, go ahead and find that now. We're going to make our way into this tabletop position. And I want you to go ahead and shift your shoulders a little farther than your fingertips. Soften the elbows and pull the shoulders away from the ears. Just go ahead and come up into your cat and your cow. You go back and forth, keeping those elbows soft, keeping yourself a little bit out over top those fingers so that your triceps have to hold you here. Back to neutral. We're going to start every motion at the tailbone and work our way to the crown of the head from there. But we're going to try to go nice, slow, and controlled. So I squeeze the glutes. I'm starting to deload the spine. One vertebrae at a time. Last thing, chin comes into the chest. Breathing into the back side of my rib cage. Now we reverse. Loading the spine, one vertebrae at a time. One more each way, just like that. Keeping soft elbows, soft face, steady breath. And just rinse it out, global movement like we started with. Slowly ease your way off the hands. We're going to make our way onto our backs. Feet come flat on the floor. Hands are going to reach straight up. Okay, so the same position we were in here. Now we're in here, right? More or less. Palms are facing each other. Drive the heels down into the floor and start to squeeze your butt, peeling off the lower spine to about the bottom rib. So we're in the very baby hip thrust motion. My spine is rounded. We have that same connection, pelvis to sternum. And I'm reaching like we did with our shoulder blades earlier. From here, we inhale through the nose, reaching, reaching, reaching as far as you can. Exhale. Let the rib cage soften, but keep your shape. Inhale. Exhale. Soften the rib cage. You can inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Keeping this general shape, keeping these hands very active, but thinking about softening the chest, relaxing this front side, while maintaining the shape back here. Last two, we inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale, really try to soften the rib cage. A weird cue the first time, but weird is good. Weird means new, weird means you're learning. Slowly lower. To the chest, one hand to the belly. We finish with a few cycles of box breathing. Eyes can be open or closed. We will inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly returning to a normal breath cycle, making your way up to a seat. Know that you can extend that for as long as you have the time and the inclination. So you can just go off of your own count. 4 count in, a 4 count hold, 4 count out, 4 count hold, repeat. For 1 to 3 minutes is a good starting point. So that's it for today's session. Thanks for joining and see you next time.